What's up guys, I'm Dreadlock Ninja and this is my no nonsense guide to portals in No Man's Sky. So the first thing you want to do is find yourself one of these travellers. They're the holographic looking guys and you're going to find them in the space station on the same side as the galactic trade terminal. Not every space station has a traveller, so you may need to jump around a few systems to find one. The first bit of dialogue, that doesn't really matter. If they like what you say, you're going to get a small reward, but that's not what we're here for. Speak to them a second time and this will give you the option to ask where they came from for 100 nanites. This is going to mark a grey site on your HUD. When you get there, interact with it, and once you get through the dialogue, you've unlocked your first glyph. Now you need to repeat this first stage, so go find another traveller, ask where they came from, get the grave location and interact with it. You could do this 16 times to unlock all the glyphs, however there's a much faster way which we'll get into in just a moment, but first there's a bit of prep work to do. Whilst you're at the space station, go and speak to a cartographer, select exchange specific charts and buy some alien planetary charts. You won't always get the one you want, so it's best to buy a few of these. You will need navigational data to buy them. If you don't have any, you can usually find some around the space station. They're these blue or sometimes orange cubes on the side that you can interact with to get the data. Next we're going to need an offering. The one that we need is dependent on what the dominant species of the system that your portal is in. If you don't have the one you need, the best place to get them is at the trading post. You can find these with the trading scanner module. If the dominant species is Viking, you will either need a Viking effigy or a Viking dagger. If it is Gek, you will either need a Gek relic or some Gek nip. Maybe get some extra for the journey. And if the dominant species is Korvax, like in my case, then you either need a Korvax casing or a convergence cube. The last thing to do is collect some elements to charge the glyphs. The glyphs are divided into 4 groups and each group has multiple elements that can charge it. You can see on the screen now all of the elements that you can use, but the easiest ones to find are carbon, which you get from mining trees and some plants, sodium, which you get from interacting with these yellow plants, dihydrogen, which you get from mining these blue crystals, and copper, which you get from mining a deposit. Don't forget you can use your scanner to show the elements in your visor to find a copper deposit. Make sure copper is available on the planet you're on. It will say on the right hand side. Now we've done all of that, we're ready to go and find our portal. Go to the planet you want to find the portal on and use the alien charts that we bought earlier. We're looking for a monolith. You won't always get one on your first try, so you might need to use another couple of maps. It may say cannot use chart similar building already marked, but ignore this and just keep trying until a monolith shows up. When you get out of your ship at the monolith, you're going to create a restore point which you might need in a minute. Interact with the monolith and after a few screens of text you need to give a response. This time it does matter what you say, so if you get it wrong, just use that restore point that you made a moment ago. If you gave the right answer, you will get a reward, one of which can be the offering, but it's not guaranteed, which is why we got one before coming here. You can then interact with it a second time, present the offering we got earlier, and it will mark the portal on your HUD. Now we're at the portal, I recommend building a base here so you don't ever have to search for a portal again, at least in this galaxy. The next step is to charge up each glyph with the elements we collected earlier. I didn't realise until it was too late that I started on the second glyph, so it's a bit jumbled here. To charge them we need 8 sodium for the second type, 16 dihydrogen for the third type, 16 copper for the fourth type, and 16 carbon for the first type. Of course you can use any of the other elements, but these were just the easiest ones. Repeat this until all 16 glyphs are charged and the portal is ready to use. So far we only have 2 glyphs, Bird and Sunset, but that's all we need to visit onto X8 where the rest of the glyphs are. Enter the sequence 6 birds, 1 sunset and 5 more birds. Once you've entered the code, the portal is now ready for travel, but first you want to go into your settings and turn off multiplayer so you can't get griefed along the way. When you arrive you'll see a floating base in front of you. Run down the hill and you'll find a teleporter up to it. This base was built by Krishunza, who also made some incredible sculptures at one of the graves along the way, so stick around to see them. Once at the teleportation terminal, select other bases on the side and here are all the bases that we need. An optional step here is to visit Musgrave's base called Portal Base with Glyph. Despite the name, I couldn't see a glyph here, however it's right next to the Sentinel Tower if you wanted to shut that down. This step isn't necessary and the multi-tool isn't particularly great, but there are lots of Gravitino balls and whatnot about, so if you wanted to harvest them along the way I do recommend it. Now all there is to do is teleport between each of the bases and interact with all of the graves. On the screen now you can see each of the bases that I went to get my glyphs. Some of the bases on this planet are labelled as if they've got a glyph there, but they don't, so I'll add a timestamp so you can watch the rest of the video and come back to this screen when you're ready to go and get them all yourself. For the first 5 bases, the grave will be right in front of you as you spawn in. First we have Glyph here by Ace 2. One thing to note is you might need to bring some carbon to power the generators, as I did come across 1 or 2 that weren't solar powered. Second we have Glyph Spot by Null. Next up is Glyph 13 by Gravnaut. Shargon 47 with Glyph Base. Glyph 5 by Alnunch. Then on to Glyph 12 by Yi Yang CG, and the grave is just to your right as you spawn in. Next is Glyph 19 by Queen Bee. Head out this door on your right and the grave is slightly to the right outside. Glyph 14 by Kenny is also out the right door and then again to the right outside towards your ship. For Glyph 15 by Mama Bear 3230, you'll want to go forwards past your ship and then take a sharp right in front of it. Glyph 11 by Frank is in the little building to the left. I feel these final 4 builds have definitely had some work put into them and they're worth having a look around. Glyph 2 Rest Stop by Goat Girl. You'll want to come out of this main door and down the stairs, and there's a fire pit with the glyph in the centre. Then we're on to Neo Flare's base, Glyph 17. It is in the centre of the room you spawn into. I think it looks good with all these bigger ones around it. Our penultimate grave is Resurrection of the Traveller by NM Chamber 2. You want to go into the building opposite the sculpture and interact with the switch to reveal the grave. And finally we have Glyph 3 from Galaxies Far Far Away by Crescenza. This one is my favourite. The amount of detail is phenomenal. You really need to come and see it yourself. So as you get inside this little hut, the grave is just to your left. Just take a look at these models. They look so good. Let me know in the comment which one's your favourite. Now that we've been to every base on the list and we've unlocked all 16 glyphs, we're ready to travel to any portal in the Euclid galaxy. You can teleport back to the portal in this system by going to Crescenza's base named Portal A the Grave Mother. You might also want to familiarise yourself with the chart on the screen now. It shows all of the glyphs, what they're commonly known as, and this is from the No Man's Sky wiki, linked down below. Sometimes an address will be written in hexadecimal, 1074 FED 74977 for example. You can go to the website nmsportals.github.io to decipher them. This one converts into bird, sunset, bug, eclipse, atlas, tree, rocket, bug, eclipse, galaxy, bug, bug, which just so happens to be the address to my home system, Dreadtopia. You're welcome to help me come and colonise. There's all the resources you need to build a stasis device farm. I'll be bringing out a guide on how to do that very soon. You can also use the subreddits NMS Coordinate Exchange and NMS Glyph Exchange to find portal locations to ships, guns and other interesting places. Again, links down below. If you found this guide useful, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos showing off some of the best locations the game has to offer. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you next time.